Hello, welcome to the show today. My name is Iyke Okoro, and you're welcome to Biggie Show. It's another time out here today on the show. It's going to be an interesting conversation we're going to have here today with our guest. How have you been? How have you been coping with what is going on in our nation today? I hope you are safe where you are. We're going to be getting right into it very soon because my guest is actually on the show right now, and we're going to be starting quite early. Let me just welcome our guest right away. Yes, let's go right into it. Yes. All right. A video welcome. My guest is here early, and he's going to, yes. All right. Hello, Mr. David. I can see you.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you very well.
All right.
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. Okay. Interesting. You are quite early, so we're going to start early. I mean, it's good that we have the time to talk and all of that.
Right.
Yes. So let me just do a little intro so that people will know who we are talking with today. So I have with me today Mr. David Adegboyega. Mr. David Adegboyega is an author and is a certified, sound character coach. Quite interesting. I mean, so when I met him years ago, it was quite interesting that he picked a topic, or he's dwelling on an area that is not popular. But that was what really interested me, got me interested about him. And I went looking for him and all of that, So that's where I didn't know that we were going to be here today, but that's how life is, So we've been going on, and it's amazing. It's amazing. All right. So we go right into it. Welcome to the show again, Mr. David.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Yeah. So I just wanted to ask you, let's just start by knowing a bit of background, about you, because all of those things informs, the kind of person you are, you have become, and all of that. And I believe that when you talk about your background, people begin to pick some things from all of that. Tell us about your growing up. How was your growing up like?
All right. Thank you again. I mean, I want to say good day to everyone. Thank you for joining us from all over the world. It's a pleasure, it's a privilege to be here. All right. So talking about my background, I grew up in Ilorin, Kwara State. That's so Kwara State is close to Southwest, close to North Central, Ilorin. And of course, I had my primary school, secondary school, university, all within the University of Ilorin. The University of Ilorin Primary School, Ilorin Secondary School, and the University of Ilorin itself. And of course, while growing up, my father was a non-academic staff of the university, and he has a farm. So every morning before going to school, we go to farm.
Wow.
Yeah. And then when it comes to pick us and we go back home, and we leave school, we also go back to the farm. And, reflecting on that, of course, it wasn't always pleasant. You can imagine going to farm before going to school in the morning. But that inculcated discipline. That inculcated hard work. You can imagine what it means to have gone to farm before you go to school. And of course, my white socks, everything is sharp. So it got to a point, I remember during 1993, during the crisis around MKO Abiola. In fact, it's interesting this story is coming back to mind at this time, because that was a time I experienced riot like we're experiencing now, 1993. Now, at that time, I lived in Ilorin, where a place called Agboba, and my school was in the permanent site of the University of Ilorin. So if I want to use Lagos, for instance, I can say I live in, I live in Victoria Island. I live in Mowe. My school is in Victoria Island.
Okay.
That kind of a distance. Now, so I remember, so during the time of that crisis around MK Abiola's election, you know, it was a tough time in Ilorin. So I had to get to the bus stop. I had to join the first bus to school. So meaning that I woke up 3:30 a.m. I would do my morning chores, sweep, do everything. By 4:30, I needed to leave the house, get to the bus terminal so that I can join the first bus. So I got to school around 6:30 a.m. And during that time, I would sweep the whole class, arrange the desks, clean the louvers. I would get charcoal and purple leaf and blacken the board. Can you still hear me, sir?
I can hear you. All right, go ahead.
Now, so those days, there was always a roster for sweeping, but the class is always neat. You understand? And nobody knew. I'm sure maybe if some of my mates who were in class together, if they're on this show right now or they will listen to this, then they would know. But you know what happened? So when we got to GSS 2, we now had a class teacher, a new class teacher. And she said she wanted to do an election. She wanted to appoint the class monitor. So I was nominated with 2 other people. So we left the class. So there was an election. And so when we were nominated, we were asked to leave the class so that we wouldn't know what happened. My mind was telling me, you'll be elected. You know, and that was what happened. Then eventually we got to SS2. It was time to appoint prefects. So the same thing happened. We all were nominated. We entered the staff room. We're having interviews. Now, so at that point, where I never dreamt of becoming head boy anyway, because of course there were others that were more brilliant and all, you know. But on the day they were going to announce the prefects, I just heard, and the head boy is no other person than I heard my name. My knees almost caved in. You understand? Now, why am I telling this story? Is to tell us that, see, if you live by some character, whatever you are looking for, whatever you think you want to get by any other means, you will get it, and even more. So I want to thank you, sir, for bringing up this topic at this time in our nation. And all of us Nigerians would agree that everything that is happening is converging to the point that we need to get back to the basics. We need to get back to character. We need to get back to sound character. So you have picked a very topical theme for this time, and I look forward to a great conversation this evening. Thank you, sir.
Wonderful. Well, that was a good opener for me. I mean, like I said, I mean, so the beautiful thing about telling people about your background is that it begins to give you a clue. You know, so they begin to see that, oh, you're not where you are today just by fluke. It's something that has been there. You know, the traits and all the signs, you know, have been there at the beginning. And that's, to me, what you say right now, you know, points to, you know, I mean, I begin to see who I'm seeing today in all of those, you know, events in the past. That's beautiful. Let's just go into straight into your academic profile. Tell us about your schooling, you know, primary, secondary, and all of that. Let's know about that.
All right, great. So like I said, primary school was University of Ilorin Primary School, then secondary school, Ilorin Secondary School, and then University of Ilorin. I studied civil engineering. I studied civil engineering. I finished with a second-class upper division. And, well, interesting thing was that while on campus, you know, while in secondary school, we all wanted freedom. And if you're a secondary school student, please listen to this very well. Now, while in secondary school, you want freedom. We all wanted freedom. You want to stop wearing school uniform. The ladies want to stop hairdo every week. Assembly every Monday and Friday or every day, lights out for those that are staying in the dormitory. We wanted freedom. And you know what? When you enter the university, there was freedom. no lights out, no assembly, nobody chasing you around, no teacher on duty. However, there was something inside that became the teacher on duty. There was something inside that would tell you, oh boy, you don't do, go to the library. You understand? Now, it was during my youth service, it occurred to me that how come I didn't get expelled for cultism? Of course, there were some points during my university that, of course, you know how it is. You move with some guys and you tend to do some, bad stuffs. And so I asked myself, how come I still finished with the grade that I wanted? I wish I wanted to have a first class. Of course, I would have gotten a first class. I wanted a 2-1 and I was just okay with that. But I asked myself, how come, I didn't get expelled? Then it occurred to me that while I was on campus, with all the freedom, I had an understanding that freedom is a combination of 2 words, free and then dom, that is domain. You are free, but within a domain. Now, while in secondary school, the teacher on duty and their assembly and everything and your parents define the domain. But when you leave home, you need to have sound character to help you define the domain when it seems as though there is no domain. There's got to be a domain. Freedom is you are free, but within a domain. And of course, imbibing character is what helps define that domain, even when there's no instruction, when there's nobody supervising you, as it were. And of course, it's interesting to note that when you graduate, the certificate will say you have been found worthy in learning and character. Yeah. So that's my experience.
Wonderful, wonderful. So do you know what you said right now? That's a good reminder that actually when you handed the certificate, what is there is that you've been certified okay, both in learning and character. So, but from what we're seeing today is like the character aspect, we are not too sure, but we're going to get into that. So I just want to, right away, let's go into it. So now people are hearing you mention sound character, but I want to let people know that to show how much you have passion for that. So you wrote a book, so the copy I have, this was the copy you handed me in 2015 thereabout, when I came to see you. You may not remember right now. It was autographed by you. That's your signature and everything. That was when we met. And the book is, it's always most times it's reversed on the screen somehow. But so the title is Sound Character, MAXIM for a Successful Future. Sound Character, MAXIM for a successful. So you can see it out there, viewers. This is the book he wrote. This is how much he's passionate about sound character. So we'll go right into it from this book. So you were so keen on helping people to imbibe sound character, and you decided to write a book about it. Why did you write a book about it?
Okay, so like I said, it was during my youth service. I served in Sokoto State, 2003, 2004. So it was while on camp, it occurred to me that I finished with the grade that I wanted. And of course, I wasn't expelled. Of course, we how it is sometimes growing up as a young guy, you do some bad stuff and all. But I was still able to manage myself. Let me put it that way. To ask myself. And of course, now, there were a lot of guys too that didn't make it. They misused the freedom. And in those days, we didn't get to see our results until 200 level. So 100 level, boys played, of course, we didn't see this. So when we entered 200 level, that was when the CGPA was released. And if you had below 1.0, you were asked to withdraw or move to another department. So, and you know, the CGPA is cumulative grade point average. So it's cumulative. So a lot of guys wanted to become serious at 200 level, but because of the very low weight, I mean, it was a struggle throughout. So I asked myself, I need to help those in secondary school. And how do I do that? Of course, I got some of my friends together. We're thinking of how to do that. During one of our meetings, the idea came to put together a book. And that was how the journey started. The concept for the book came in 1.5 hours.
Wow.
That was in 2004. I was back in Ilorin then, from Sokoto. And now, this wasn't the first edition. You know, it was smaller than that. But over time, you know, we've upgraded to the point that you have it. So that was what inspired the book, to reach out to secondary school students. In fact, working on this book brought me to Lagos.
Wow.
So working on this book got me my first job.
Wow. I never knew that. Interesting.
Working on this book got me my second job that I'm still on till today. But let me say that's a story for another day.
Wonderful. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so that was what inspired the book, sir. So the focus, the primary target is secondary school students. And interestingly, it has been approved by Lagos State Ministry of Education. It has been approved by Oyo State Ministry of Education, and even also Ondo State in the list of books. And to the glory of God, we've done over 32,000 copies in print.
In Nigeria? That's interesting.
Yes, in Nigeria. Yes, sir.
Wow. You know, there's something someone wrote about this book. It's a remark that caught my attention, which, you know, it stood out for me. And, you know, I actually saw it again, even though I read it before, but while I was just, you know, preparing for this interview. So the person wrote, and the person really captured, you know, the essence of this book. He says, and I'm going to read it. He says, when it comes to advancing any society and selecting competent leaders who will address major issues of national and corporate development, one of the vital benchmarks to assess is the character of these individuals. And this was credited to Mrs. Folake Ani Mumuni. This is one of the remarks. This remark caught my attention. It's so powerful. This is quite intellectually sound. You know, I think it just captured the whole framework, you know, the whole idea behind this book, that to advance any society and selecting competent leaders who will address major issues of national and corporate development, one of the vital benchmarks to assess is the character of these individuals.
Wow. Absolutely.
Now, this is so apt. Talk about that for a while. Talk about that.
Now, sir, you know, leadership, everything rises and falls on leadership. Let me quote Peggy Noonan. Peggy Noonan was a speechwriter to President Ronald Reagan, former president of the United States.
Okay.
Peggy Noonan says that the White House does not need brilliance and intelligence, because those can be hired. But the White House needs willpower and decency. So, and that for me is loaded. You can hire brilliance. You can't even know everything. But as a leader, you must come with willpower and decency. Now, everything rises and falls on leadership. Traditional leadership was based on character. Traditional leadership was based on virtue. But this has been replaced by propaganda. This has been replaced by power dressing, power shape, power talks. But we've seen how far that has led us. And now we need to go back to the basics. We need to go back to character. We need to go back to true leadership. And it is based on character. So advancing any society requires character. Character is everything. You can hire brilliance. Of course, today, there's a lot of talk around emotional intelligence, emotional quotients. A lot of talk around attitude. You know, my MD has a formula. He calls it A plus A is equal to A. A plus A is equal to A. Aptitude, aptitude plus attitude is equal to altitude. Aptitude plus attitude is equal to altitude. I mean, that is QED. You know what QED is? Quite, I mean, it's a lot.
You know, this is quite interesting. There's something coming to my mind here. So what really is interesting to me is, you know, we don't find, even when people want to major on an area, you know, so what is interesting to me is, and I want to know your mind about this. So you wrote a book about sound character, and you are like an advocate of sound character. You go about speaking to the youth about sound character and all that. But how easy has that been for you? Because we see that in our society today, it's all about the bling, it's all about the money, it's all about the glam.
Right.
It's all about, hey, getting the cash and what the cash can do for you. And this has crept into government, into, you know, which we're going to come to an area, you know, based on what is going on in Nigeria today. How easy has it been for you to maintain this course? You know, talking about sound character, because to me it's like an unpopular kind of thing to do. You know, you're not writing about a topic that is quite about how to make money, about how to dress powerfully, about how easy has it been for you to pursue this course?
All right. So first of all, it is a calling. And what that means is that it wakes me up. You know, just like when they're calling your name, Iyke, Iyke, Iyke. So we've come to that point that, you know, somebody needs to awaken the rest of us. Somebody needs to, you know, somebody needs to conscientize so that we wake up. You know, growing up, these things were the norm. But something happened along the way. And we seem to lose the moral fabric of society. So there's a need for a wake-up call. You know, on October 1st, 2020, just 24 days ago, we released the sound character theme song.
Wow.
Titled Save the Future. It's available on YouTube. On YouTube, just search Sound Character by David Adegboyega. You'll see the song there. It's titled Save the Future, Sound Character theme song. The second stanza of that song says, don't be afraid to stand, even if you stand alone. Don't be afraid to stand, even if you stand alone. Now, this path of sound character is not popular. It's like the road less traveled, but it's a road we must travel.
Wow, I love that.
Yes,
I love that. Yeah,
and like you rightly said, it's not popular now, but we need to make it popular because that is the path to real significance. That is the path to real legacy. That is the path to excellence. that is the path that we need to get back to as a nation. See, everything you're looking for is on that path. You know, every week my team, we release an article every week. Sometime back, we had an article titled, "What has happened to a good name?" What has happened to a good name? You know, how is it that nowadays we don't even think about a good name anymore?
That's true. That's true.
You understand? And one more point I want to make on this is the fact that, see, this journey and talk about sound character is not about perfection.
Okay.
You know, so sometimes a lot of people want to be like, well, we're not perfect. So, no, the beauty about imbibing sound character is that it is not about perfection.
Okay.
However, when you make mistakes, it's about honesty, it's about sincerity, it's about transparency. You know, many times when people do something wrong and they get caught, rather than confess, rather than admit, they will model up the whole case. You understand? See, just the power word, I am sorry, I did it, I'm sorry. And if there's going to be a consequence, a punishment, you take it. It's part of character.
Wow.
And so these are things we need to get back to as a nation now. You know, and before, it must start from the home.
Yes. Let me ask you here. I like that you said that character or sound character is not about perfection. That's a good emphasis, you know, that you brought in there. So for you, can you just, maybe not a definition, but how would you, what to you is sound character? Or let me say, first and foremost, what to you is character? Character. Yeah, I mean, to you, what is beautiful? Yeah.
Beautiful. I would love to quote Miles Monroe, Dr. Miles Monroe of blessed memory.
Okay.
So he defined character as something that does not change. And please stay with me. Let me try and break that down.
Yeah.
Now, okay, you know, we call alphabets characters, right?
That's true. That's true.
Why do we call them? Why do we call them character? Now, if I do this, what did I write?
That's an A.
Okay. If I go to Canada and I do this,
it will still be an A. It will still be an A.
All right. Now, if I go to Cameroon and I do this,
it will remain constant, an A. Interesting.
Even though they speak French, they will still say A. It is still A. Now, I picked a lot of sense from that. To say character is that thing that does not change. Essentially at the core of it. So of course it could be good, it could be bad. But there's an attribute, there is a quality that defines something. That's character. The quality that defines. And that's why, of course, sir, you are in the movie production. You call the people that act, you call them what? Sometimes you call them characters too, right?
That's true.
Why? Because that role, that script needs a particular attribute, needs a particular quality of behavior, needs a character.
Wow.
So character is the quality that defines a thing.
Wow.
And it could be good, it could be bad.
Wow.
So I have adopted the coinage sound character. You know, to emphasize the quality that are positive, the qualities that are good, the qualities that should be embraced. See, the wealth or the poverty of a nation is dependent on how well they've embraced or debased sound character. A nation is not rich. A nation is not wealthy because it has mineral resources. No, a nation is wealthy because it has embraced character, sound character.
Wow.
Now, if you look at what is going on in our nation right now, I mean, we don't need to speak too much. We just need to go back to the basics. We're in a situation. And it is good we know that we're in a situation. And that's why we're having this talk.
Yes. And so let's just go there right now, because that's one of the talking points for this interview.
Yeah.
So we're in a situation right now. And as I kept, reviewing it, because I have to intellectually, begin to break these things down, because I don't want to be lost in just, all the noise and all. I like to just sit down, think about something. So,
right.
Which is why the conversation we're having today is so interesting, because for me, at the bottom line of what is going on is that a unit of the police force, we're entrusted to do something. And what has happened is that over time, they have acted out of character, to the point that it became so noticeable to the citizens. If it was something that was just one-offs, once in a while, then we know that, like you said, there's no perfection anywhere. But it has become like a norm. Being out of character became like a norm, and the citizens are not having it anymore. And that's why we are going through this. And that underscores, that is why you matter to me a lot, and your projects and what you're doing matter to me a lot. And I have to just bring you on. Because really what has been going on is that we thought we'll just do things anyhow and just achieve a good result. Do you understand? I want to speak about what is going on right now, vis-a-vis, having sound character. Because here is a unit, they have been given a term of reference. And if they were working according to their term of reference, we will not have the issue we're having today. So just let me hear your view about that. Let me just hear you say something about that. Yeah.
All right. So what we have, the NSAS protest, the NSAS peaceful protest.
Yeah, I like that one. Yes.
Peaceful protest.
Good.
Right. Because when we say NSAS, the memories of NSAS is peaceful protest.
That's true.
That needs to be stamped.
Yeah.
It's peaceful protest. What became of it is another matter.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that very soon. Yeah.
NSAS is like, NSAS was a tipping point. Let me describe tipping point. I have this bottle, there's water, I'm turning it. Then, now once it gets to the tipping point, it's not just the water at that tip that comes out. Everything comes out. So, and that's exactly what has happened. NSAS is unleashing everything that has been bottled up. So, when we're talking about SARS, the problem is not SARS. The problem is not the police. There's a bigger problem. So what we saw in NSAS, is just a byproduct of a serious issue. And if I want to dimension that issue,
please go ahead.
I would dimension it across what I love to call the 4 pillars of society. The 4 pillars.
All right.
The family, education, religion, and then the media. The family, education, religion, and the media. Now, character should be what we propagate across these 4 pillars. That's on the one hand. Now, on the second hand is enabling environment. And that's where we call the government to task. Enabling environment. So, successively over the years, we've not created an enabling environment for young people to thrive. And these things are no-brainers. So, for instance, if I, for instance, am a governor or a president, and I just determine that, see, what I want to do roads into the hinterlands where we have arable lands. I want to do good trunk C roads, very good motorable roads into those hinterlands, so that when food is produced, it's easily transported. So, just that idea alone will transform this nation. You know, imagine a governor saying, I don't want youth to hawk, what's it called? To hawk in traffic, to hawk plantain chips, hawk toothpick. I want to get them off. Now, you know, so these are the kind of thinkings that should be going on in our government houses. This is the agenda that should be, this is what should occupy our governors and president. To say, how do I create 24/7 power? So, sir, what we saw in SARS is the byproduct of a failure, collective failure. You know, I love to be president, I love to be governor, right? But it's not about the president, it's not about the governor, it's about we the people. Because the president, the governor comes from the people. The people, you know, they get the leader they deserve. So, the issue around SARS and where we are today has brought us to the point where we need to go back to these 4 pillars. And sir, let me tell you something. You know, I have what I call the 50-year challenge. That we all need to take the 50-year challenge. And the 50-year challenge is from today and for the next 50 years, imbibe sound character in everything you do and inspire sound character in everyone you meet.
Wow.
See, for us to transform Nigeria, because that's what we're all crying for now, for us to transform this nation. Now, you can see the level of destruction and carnage that happens in just one night. Tuesday into Wednesday. Just look at the level of destruction across the nation. Now, that shows us what we've been able to do in the past 30 to 40 years. You know, in geology, there's a principle in geology that says the past is the key to the future. It's a principle they use when they are studying rocks. You know, when they are mining for fossil fuel, they study the rocks and say, okay, so from the fault lines we can see on this rock, it tells us what has happened in the past. So the past is the key to the future. Meaning what? Meaning that today is the key to tomorrow. So whatever we see today tells us what has happened in the past. So the caliber of youth that destroyed the nation in what we have seen tells us what has happened over the past 30, 40 to 50 years. And we cannot correct that in a year, in a day.
Wow.
So, you know, I say to people that are just getting married now, those that are just getting married now, or just raising children, parents, or newly wedded, let me tell you, they are the hope, they are the real hope for this nation. We will try all we can with those of us that are here. I mean, we will try all we can by the grace of God.
Wow.
But those that are just giving birth to children. They are the real hope. But of course, we're not going to give up on us, on ourselves. You know, like Timmy Jakolo sang in his song, "We are all we have."
Yeah.
We are all we have. We'll defend our land. So SARS was just a tipping point. And we have come to a good day. I would say we have come to a good day. It's a sad day, but it's a good day as well. Thank you, sir.
Wow. So, I mean, that's a whole lot. It's massive. But the thing is, so I wanted to pull out something from, you know, like when you started off, you know, making this point, you emphasized the peaceful protesters, as in, so the whole thing started, there was a mission to protest, rightfully so, and it started off very well. It was an intellectual thing. It was something that was basically, you know, cerebral to do, and people were doing it with all the saneness, as it were. Then along the line, we experienced that. So somebody was saying, I was listening to someone who said, so we now discovered that there are two kinds of youths. You know, so the person said there are. So we have this the grade one, or the first group. Those were the ones protesting peacefully, carrying placards, you know, just marching, not destroying things and all that. I don't know, what would you call the other sets? Because I'm trying to place my hand on those destructions of our monuments, our, you know, buildings, even private properties. I don't know where you place that in the context of character. Where do you place that action, that activity?
All right. Now, so please, I would like to respond, you know, borrowing what my wife said. And what she said was that it is the failure of all of us that what we saw is the result of turning our backs on the second category of youth that you're trying to define.
Yeah.
Sir, you know, I don't know if this occurs to you when you drive around any neighborhood in Nigeria and you see young people, you know, smoking and drinking almost throughout the day.
During work hour.
You know?
Work hours. During work hours, you know, when people are at work or at their business places, I see them.
Every time.
Yeah,
you know, now
every time.
we have alcohol in sachets, so it makes it easy to move around.
Easy to reach.
Yeah. Now, so when you have a lot of people doing that 24/7, so at the slightest provocation, you know, they can do a lot of damage. So I won't be too quick. I won't be quick to say some people are builders, some people are burners. No, I don't want to name call.
Yeah.
But we need to see that. That is a result of turning our backs on them. If there was education, if there was housing, even if it's a one bed, one room, if there's a government that has successively created housing, you know, most of the second category of youth, they practically live on the street. So when the police come with guns on the streets, you understand? When the government is saying, stay at home, which home?
Where is home?
Which home?
They are home. Streets is the home for them.
Already.
They are at home already.
Wow. So when we have not created homes for them, when we've displaced them from their lands and turned those lands into multi-billion naira property, and we push them away, that's what we get. So that's the situation. So it's all of us. We're in the ship together, and we must swim together. Because we're not going to sink We will swim together. We will save this nation.
I like the point you made that it is because of neglect of these people, because there should be, the government should operate in an all-inclusive manner, really. So I like the point you're making. But my question would be, going forward, because what really came to fore, for me, I just sat back and I was watching the whole thing. I said, it's good that this thing happened. So we're able to discover this. I don't know what I would say early, but we're able to discover it anyway. So in your own, to you, what do you think can be done as a matter of urgency? Because what can be done for this set of youths? Because really, they are brothers and sisters. What can be done by the rest of us? What can be done for them?
Yeah. So what we need to do is, number one, we need to do a lot of community engagement, a lot of talking. One. Secondly, the government needs to create enabling environment. See, take agriculture, for instance. We need to create roads, access to where there's farm. We need to, get tractors. These things, they are too simple. The things to be done are too simple. But the challenge is that we want to make contracts of every single thing. We want to make money out of everything. And that's why nothing gets done in this country. Everything must be a contract. And those contracts is just to make money. So, but what we need to do is community engagement. And then, we need to look at agriculture, and then housing and power. See, these four things to start with. If there is 24/7 power, if there's housing. Now, let me talk about housing a bit.
Okay.
There are places we call slums, right? And so an example is in Morocco. If you remember Morocco, that was now torn. All right. Now, so instead of chasing the people away from that environment and then turning those into highbrow properties that is not affordable to the average person.
Yeah.
Why not engage the stakeholders in that community and that land, divide it into 4. Okay? Then take a quarter of it, develop, it could be high-rise as fast, you can go, and then resettle the people. Very decent apartments. So that the 3/4 left, you can repossess that, and then, of course, develop it further. Because see, a lot of people are living on fields. They are living on water. They are living on field. How can we be living together like that? How can some people be living on field, on water? You understand? And all that the government wants to do is to reclaim that land and then turn it into skyscrapers and multi-billionaire and then chase them to where?
To where? Truly, where?
Sincerity of purpose is what we need. This carnage that we saw is a reaction to the fact that we have turned our backs on them. We have not been sincere with them. It's all of us. I'm not in government. I'm also a young guy, trying to make ends meet. But of course, I know that if an enabling environment is created, even with the current generation, there'll be transformation. So that's what can happen. We have youth. These guys, there's energy. There's intelligence. There's purpose. How I wish our government would wake up. But I throw this challenge back to us, that we have woken up and we have 2 years plus as young people you know, to organize ourselves. And I believe that is already happening. What we saw in NSAS, the peaceful protest, is a foretaste of what is coming in 2023.
Wow. Wow.
You know, I have an hashtag that I like to push. It's called End Vote Selling.
Okay.
Hashtag End Vote Selling.
Okay.
And what does that mean? When somebody brings money to buy your vote, don't sell. Now, when somebody is elected into office, not having spent money, he would know that he has no other business than to deliver to common good. Let me tell you why we're in this situation, that we could not have finished Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, that we don't have stable power. It's because of vote selling. I don't even want to talk about vote buying. You know, vote buying is that somebody brings money. But vote selling, it's my own responsibility not to sell.
Okay.
Now, so what's been happening in this nation is that there's been a lot of money going into elections. So when they get elected into the office, they will use the first 2 years to repay the money from where it came from, and then the last 2 years to show up for the next election. And that's why we're in trouble as a nation.
Wow. Wow. This is it's been more interesting than I imagined, because what is going on here is that we are really trashing national issues, and because if these things are not tackled at this intellectual level, you cannot go out there and do anything right. I want to thank you so far for what has been going on, and I just want to hang on. Yeah, hang on there. I want to use this opportunity to begin to appreciate and acknowledge those who have joined us so far on this in this session. There is a Word Motions, you know, who joined. Thank you very much. There is Maureen Okere who joined earlier. Thank you so much. There is Nia Black who joined us all the way from US. She's my niece. She joined from US. And I want to acknowledge, I'm seeing a very big, something on screen. I'll tell you about this in a while. There's a foundation called Jinko Foundation, Jinko FDN, joined us. They are in US. Now, this is a foundation that has personally touched my life. This is a foundation that gave me free surgeries in 2015. Free surgery. This is an example of people who are doing the right thing in this world. They are doing something for humanity. And I want to use it. Every platform that I see, I would acknowledge them. I've told them that. Jinko Foundation, I want to thank you. This is your product. This is somebody you helped. I'm able to do this today. Yes, I want the whole world to hear again and again. Please follow them at Jinko Foundation. Go on Instagram. Follow them at Jinko FDN. This thing is Jinko Foundation. Note it down. Jinko, GEANCO FDN. Please follow them and go and see the beautiful things they are doing. They are doing wonderful things for Nigerians, helping people who have a hip problem, who have knee problem. They do free surgeries and help people to live again, to live their dreams, like I'm doing today. They are the ones who helped me. I want to talk about that, maybe, later I'll tell you more about them, but I want to really acknowledge them on air here. So Jinko Foundation, I thank you so much. This is your boy, Mr. Iyke, and I know you're hearing me. I love you all. I love you, the whole entire Jinko family. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I want to thank Fit Food Niger for joining. He said, I'm Pelumi Benson. Well done, sirs. Mr. David, thank you so much. You know what? Instagram interview is actually 1 hour. We just have about 5 minutes to go. And
really?
Yes, we've been talking. Time flies. The thing is that it's a loaded package. You can see, I have to allow you to, because this is not a matter of, as a journalist, what I should do is just to prod you, is just to moderate the thing. So, it's a whole lot you release here, and I believe it's food for thought for people out there, and I believe it will get to the right quarters. It will prick people's mind and begin to give them directions to follow and all of that. Yeah, I want to appreciate you for coming. We have 5 minutes to go. Yeah, thank you so much. I really want to thank you for making it. It's not, you are somebody who is Your schedule is so tight, rightfully so, because you are valuable, honestly. So why would people not want you to be in their forums or whatever? They want to call you. But I want to, in just like 1 minute or 2 minutes, or 2 minutes rather, what do you see for this nation going ahead? What do you see? Just encapsulate what you see for this nation. I know you're a very positive person. I've known you all these years. So what do you have for this nation? Say in 1 minute or thereabout.
All right. So permit me to sing from the theme song. All right. We have what it takes to make a mark and stand out. Don't be afraid to stand. Even if you stand alone, deep inside is the light crying for expression. Let's raise the banner. Let's save the future. We are the future, inspiring integrity with patience and honesty and hard work. We'll be fine. We'll be fine as a nation.
Amen.
I am positive about Nigeria. In the South Character book, there's, I think it's day 48 or day 43. So please turn to day 43 or day 48. It has the map of Nigeria written in sound character. The outline of the map, I think it's day 48 or so.
Okay, let me check. Let me check.
The map of Nigeria.
Okay,
the Nigerian.
There it is.
Thank you, sir. Now that's a prophecy right there. That one day Nigeria will be defined by sound character. The green passport will be an epitome of sound character. That's it right there. Nigeria. So move it up. Let them see the map of Nigeria. Yes. That's a prophecy right there. That one day Nigeria will be defined by sound character. Thank you, sir.
I want the whole world to see this book. This is the book written by this great man that I've been interviewing. I met him years ago. You know how it is. Great people meet great people. I met him, and I was trying to write my book. You remember, Mr. David? I was trying to write my book. You know, I was trying to write an acting book for actors, and I was humble enough to say, you've done this thing. You know, I'm not reinventing it. Let me ask you, because you've done it, and you put me through. My book is finished, which I think I don't know what I gave you a copy. I think I gave you a copy or something. So I was able to, based on your guidance, I was able to write my book on acting. So I'm a published author too. Kudos to Mr. David here. He's one of those that gave me the guidance that I needed to write my book. But I want to thank you. I have just about 2 minutes to go here. I need to rush off right now. Thank you everyone who has joined us on this. This is so loaded. My mood before I started this interview was not very, very good because of what is going on in the nation, but I'm better now because of the hope that you have injected into the whole situation, because of the positivity that I have fed off, that I have gotten from you, and I appreciate you for your time. I appreciate you for all you've said, and I believe it's to go out there and really bless people. People are thinking about it now. It's a talking point. I want to appreciate you. Let me allow you go because I need to sign off right now before Instagram class. We'll talk later. Right. I want to appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your day. My regards to your family.
All right, sir.
Bye bye. Yeah. All right. I want to thank everyone who joined us today. I need to sign in less than 30 seconds. I need to be away from here. Jinko Foundation, Jinko FDN. Thank you so much. I love you. Mr. Afam Onyema, I love you. Mr. Daddy Godwin Onyema, I love you. Dr. Mike Barratz, I love you. And every member of the Jinko family, you know you're my family. I love you all. I have to go right now. Bye-bye.